Hello all. So this is lecture number 5, derivation on transmission loss formula. So previous class we discussed about optimum generation allocation without losses and with considering the transmission losses. So this class we can derive the transmission loss formula, so that first we can considering the two plant system connecting through a power network, a single power network, to a number of loads. So you can observe that figure 2.1. So here we are considering the two generating stations are connecting to a power network, in that power network carrying current IP1, and it can satisfy the load is ID. So that is a total load current is ID. So from the figure 2.1a, we can observe that, so generating station 2 at open condition, so it does not carry any current, that is nothing but generating station 2 is off condition, and generating station 1 is connected to network. So the entire load current ID is generated by the generating station 1. It can be transmitted to the transmission network. The current carrying is nothing but, the network is nothing but IP1. From the figure 2, we can conclude that here the generating station 2 is on condition and the generating station 1 is open condition, that is off condition. So the total load current, the required load current ID can be supplied by the generating station 2. So the network current here indicated with IP2. So this is case 2. And coming to the figure 2.1c, that is nothing but third case. Here both the generating station 1 and generating station 2 both are in active, that is on condition. Both are generating the currents, that is IZ1 and IZ2. So the total load requirement ID can be shared by the generating station 1 and generating station 2 based on IZ1 and IZ2. So these are the three assumptions. From these three cases, we can calculating the current distribution factors. In first case, whether total load current IZ is supplied by the plant 1, in that case the current distribution factor MP1 is nothing but the ratio of IP1 by ID. So in case 2, when the plant 2 alone supplying the total load current, so the current distribution factor MP2 is nothing but IP2 by ID. So the MP1 MP2 both are called as current distribution factors. So we can know that from the MP1 and MP2, the ID is always independent. So because the load current is always depends upon the consumer usage, so that it is always independent. So the current distribution factors is always depends upon the impedances of the line. So this is the MP1 MP2, and current distribution factors are depends upon the impedances of the line and independent of the current ID. So when both the generators are, that is 1 and 2 are supplying the current into the network, from figure 2.1c, applying the the superposition theorem. So superposition theorem is while only considering the effect of plant 1, and again we consider the effect of plant 2, and we can sum the response, both the responses, we can get the final value, that is IP is nothing but MP1 IZ1 plus MP2 IZ2. So this is equation number 3. From equation number 3, IZ1 IZ2 are the current supplied by the plant 1 and plant 2 respectively. So this is IP1, regarding IP1. So from this we can take two assumptions for simplifying the above methodology. that is at the says all the load currents have same phase angle with respect to the common reference, and the ratio of X by R is the same for all network branches. So based on the two assumptions, we can conclude that IP1 and ID both having same phase angle, at the same time IP2 and ID also having same phase angle, in such that the current distribution factors is real rather than complex. So based on the two assumptions, we can conclude like this. Then the Iz1 is nothing but always it is a vector, it is the combination of magnitude as well as the phase angle. So Iz1 is nothing but modulus Iz1 and sigma at an angle of sigma 1, and Iz2 is nothing but modulus Iz2 at sigma angle of sigma 2. So where sigma 1 and sigma 2 are the phase angles of Iz1 and Iz2 respectively with respect to the common reference, so that we can include this Iz1 Iz2 values in equation number 3. Then you can we can derive this equation number 4. So after simplification of equation number 4, for example, you see that a plus b whole square and a plus b whole square, then you can simplify this. We can receive the cosine square here and sine square here. Cosine square plus sine square is nothing but 1, and after that simplification, we can also apply the cos sigma 1 minus sigma 2, that is cos sigma 1 sigma 2 plus sin sigma 1 sigma 2, and replace it cos sigma minus sigma 2. We can receive this equation number 5. So from the power systems, we can know that the real power of three phase power is nothing but Iz1 into, that is voltage into current, Vi cos phi root 3 Vi cos phi. Based on that, we can calculate the Iz1 and Iz2, that is nothing but modulus Iz1 is nothing but Pz1 by root 3 Vi cos phi, and Iz2 is nothing but Pz2 root 3 into V2 cos phi 2. So we can calculate this is cos phi 1 cos phi 2 are the power factors, and Pz1 Pz2 are the three phase real powers, and V1 V2 are the bus voltages. So we can substitute this equation 6 in 5, and we can see that we can know that our total three phase transmission loss is nothing but 3I square R. So Rp is the resistance of the branch P. We can conclude that PL is nothing but sigma of 3 into Ip square into Rp. So substitute the equation number 5 and Iz1 Iz2 values from 6 in the power loss formula, that is PL formula. We can achieve the equation number 7. So this is equation number 7. From this equation number 7, we can compare with this power loss formula, that is B coefficients formula, that is Pg square B11 plus 2 Pg1 Pg2 B12 plus Pg2 square B22. So we can compare equation number 7 with power loss formula of the B coefficients. We can receive the values B11. You can see that Pg square, the remaining term is B11. B22 also found from here. Like that, this is indicating sigma mp2 square by rp by modulus v2 square cos phi 2 whole square, indicating the B22. So equation 7, comparing with this power loss formula, we can get the B11, B12, B22. So B11 and B12 and B22 is called as loss coefficients. So the units of the B coefficients are a megawatt inverse. So the power, generally the power generation Pg1 and Pg2 expressed in megawatt, and power loss also expressed in megawatt. The B coefficients is expressed in terms of megawatt inverse, and the voltages are generally expressed in kilowatts, resistance in terms of the ohms. So if the above expression can be extended for k number of power plants, so the power loss is nothing but sigma equal to m equal to 1 to k and sigma n equal to 1 to k Pgm Bmn Pgn. So this is equation 9 indicates k number of power plants. Based on that, this is the B coefficients value. You can clearly see that this is B12 you can replace this 1 as m and 2 as n, we can receive this Bmn formula. So this is the derivation of the transmission loss. Thank you.